racetrack, really unique. So, like I said, as far as it being way different than anything I've ever been on road course wise, it is. And especially when you come in off the big track in turn 1 and go through turns 1, 2, and 3, it's really weird. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of swells and bumps, and you're sideways through there. I mean, it's just it's pretty crazy. So really hard to get 850 horsepower with the rear tires hooked up to this track for whatever reason on the infield, and it's going to make for a really interesting and probably a wild race for sure.
Specifically with the changes, how do you think that'll be better, or maybe not so much?
Well, the lap times were so long that we were going to be looking at a race that was, I don't even know how many hours, way too long, right? So basically taking out those 2 turns to cut quite a bit of lap time off the lap, so it's more so like a regular road course like Watkins Glen, similar lap time to theirs, so we'll be kind of in that realm. But it was a really long lap, and the last 2 turns were really, really slow and hard to navigate in a 3,500-pound car.
I get the impression that you guys will not be able to get enough practice between now and next October for this race.
Yeah, I don't think we will. I mean, we're going to do some testing here. There's an open test before we come back to race in the fall. I think it's sometime in the spring, maybe. I can't remember what the date is, but everybody will be here. They'll be trying to figure this place out. It's so unique and different that everybody will want to get on it and get some laps.
Are you concerned that there's not enough space for these big cars?
Yeah, we are concerned. Everybody else is not. So, yeah, they're trying to make it difficult, and I promise it's going to be hard.
Just your thoughts of having a road course in the playoffs? I mean, that's going to change the dynamics of the playoffs.
Oh, for sure. I really enjoy road courses. I love the challenge. It's something unique, and yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to add another element for the fans. I think a lot of people have been asking for years, when are we going to have a road course in the playoffs? And although this one's a little more unique than some of us expected, it's going to be a fun challenge and definitely mix things up for sure.
Martin, as you're talking about,
you're not going to want to come here and have to win. I mean, it's going to be high stress moment if you do. So hopefully we'll be successful like last year and not hit too many bumps in the road. But you never know. And like I said, I think it's I can't wait to see what happens here, how it goes, how the racing is, and what kind of things we can do out there.
Martin, Barry Richmond, WAKG. You talked about the road course being in the playoffs. Would it have been maybe more welcome to have had this track outside of the playoffs? To get used to it, or you just take what you got with it?
I mean, I wouldn't be against giving it a shakedown run.
Yeah, well,
going here for the first time, and that at that point in the season, it's so critical to a championship run. So, it's the same for everyone. It's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be a heck of a challenge, and I can't wait to see what we can do.
What makes this so much different than any other road course you've run?
Yeah, just the way the infield is. I mean, obviously you're running around the big racetrack some, and we're set up to turn right and left, yet we're hitting the banking and trying to go 175 or 180. It's quite a handful there, and then you get into the infield, and your setup is just so compromised to try to run around the big track and then try to run through those sections of the racetrack where there is really no banking, there's not a lot of grip, so it's really hard to set the car up properly for both. You kind of have to do a lot of give and take. And then the track itself in the infield is just, there's a lot of bumps and swells, and the way that the turns, the camber comes in and out of the turns in certain areas, it's really, really difficult for a stock car to be set up right and drive somewhat decent. So, it's almost like we're out there just slip sliding around, and it's kind of like a big drift track.
Well, speaking of slip sliding around, what about rain tires? Have you thought about that dynamic?
I've never even been on rain tires, so let's not even bring that up.
How eager are you for the season to get rolling?
I'm not quite ready yet. I mean, it's been a crazy off season. I've been so busy. I've had a lot to do, and I think I'm pretty busy again this week, and then I get a week off, so I'm going to take a little vacation, kind of get recharged, and I'm sure by the end of that 5 or 6 days of sitting around just relaxing, I'll be charged up and ready to go again.
When you guys take the green flag here, how do you expect the field to take that first sharp turn?
Martin Truex Jr. talking about the 2018 road course race in September here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Meteor Tour 2018.